Oh my goodness. I screwed up this morning. I have been talking for 33 minutes without being on the air, as it were. I know this is tragic because all of 35 people will watch this movie this week. In the long run, a lot more might watch it. In consequence, I'm going to be very brief today because I'm already worn out and sweaty, talking solely to myself. I possibly thrilled to note, I hope this is true, I don't know if it is or isn't, but I hope it's true. It seems very likely that the government of North Korea, the communist, Marxist government of North Korea, has failed. And it may well be the case that the dictatorship of North Korea is in negotiation with the substantially less dictatorial government of South Korea in order to devolve power to the South Koreans. That would be a wonderful thing for many, many, many starving, imprisoned people, victims of Marxist compassion. This morning I republished the first chapter of Man Alive on selfadoration.com. The chapter is called You're in This All Alone. And I republished it this morning because I am very much interested in impressing that point upon you right now, that your survival in this world depends upon your own internal management of your mental resources. And to the extent that you're depending upon other people to tell you what to do, you're putting your life in peril. The victims of North Korean Marxism are not in your circumstance. They are having their choices forbidden by outside parties, by compassionate Marxists. But to the extent that you are depriving yourself of the free exercise of your autonomy, you're acting to your own self-destruction and to the destruction of everyone you love and everything that you value. And Man Alive is all about that. It's about retaking your intellectual sovereignty, re-establishing your intellectual autonomy in order to manage your life better so that you can achieve your values. I spent a long time talking to nobody about the epistemological problems that result from social interaction, and I'm not going to go through all that again because I'm worn out. So we're going to be very brief this morning, and I'm going to take you back to the main message of Man Alive, which is to carry everything back to the object. That every map that you can use is inherently misleading. Because every map embellishes certain details and omits others. And by map, I mean any sort of map, any sort of artifact of father tongue, any sort of product of any notation system. We like to talk about maps as the product of cartographers, but my attitude is every word, every bit of musical notation, every bit of software, every bit of math, every artifact of father tongue is a map in the sense that I mean it. And every map is potentially misleading, and every map, this is Goodell, every map, every sufficiently complicated map in any case is necessarily misleading. Because there's no way to eliminate error and bias from human mental functioning. This is the one thing that we're trying all the time to do when we're making our maps, if we're scrupulously honest, is we're trying as best we can to eliminate errors, and yet nevertheless, the errors will creep in and they will remain undiscovered, possibly consequentially and possibly enduringly. And even to the extent that we all agree that a particular map is reliable, it's only reliable insofar as our theories are correct. New theory will come along and overturn everything. We will see things that we didn't know to look for before, and they will not be reflected in that map because they couldn't have been. And so for any individual person, it is vitally important to carry everything back to the object. This is the idea of practical ontology that I talk about all the time, to carry things back to the real world phenomena, the objects and events and attributes that are being considered, and verify it with respect to reality. And even then, your own interior mental processes are subject to error, but the one person that you can depend on to look out for your interests is you. Whereas you know for sure that everybody else that you're relying on for information is in the same situation as you, is looking out for himself first. And where there is a conflict between his interests and yours, his map will serve his interests, not yours. He doesn't owe you self-sacrifice, and it's irrational for you to expect it. You're in this all alone, and the appropriate thing to do is to respond accordingly. And that, I think I might be done in less than 10 minutes today, that is the Church of Splendor for this Sunday. Bless you. Thank you so much for joining me. And next week I'll try to do a better job of managing the software on my end so that you get the map that I produced instead of the second, much shorter version. You may be happier with that one anyway, but I'll try to do a better job. Bless you. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you next week.